Okay, it's time for part 3 in our series on cheap Chinese kits, and in this video we'll be looking at this kit. It is of course a mini Tesla coil kit. It doesn't really have any particular function or purpose, it's just for a bit of fun. And these videos on these kits are not really intended to do full reviews or analysis of the product or the kit itself. It's just to see whether I feel the price I paid for them is worth it. This one was £4.99 delivered, so just under £5, and we'll put it together, have a bit of fun with it, and see if it was worth that amount of money. So we'll start by opening the package and see what's in here. Okay, well, there are some instructions. We'll see if there's any English in here at all. And the only English I can find is where it says LED2. There is a schematic though, so that could be useful if it doesn't work straight away. And if you haven't seen these, they are just really high voltage generators, very low current, and they generate a small plasma discharge if it works. So no real in-depth instructions, but there is quite a nice overlay diagram, and the board is quite nicely marked. Not very many components to go on this one, so what I'll do is I will start assembling this. If I find any issues with it, then I'll point them out, but it looks like it will be fairly straightforward. It's as I say, not going to fulfill any particular function other than give us a mini light show. But I'll get all this put together, I'll get it assembled. I won't do any step-by-step assembly, there's not really enough components to warrant that, so I'll get it all put together and we'll have a quick look and see if it actually does anything. Okay, so I've got the board assembled. It went together very quick, very easy, took about 5 minutes. So not a big challenge. It might be okay as a first kit. So I've got all the parts fitted apart from the Tesla coil itself. There are no bolts holding the heat sinks to the PCB, so you need to be careful with those, but it's not meant as an industrial application, it's just a bit of fun. It looks like it needs some sort of audio input to drive it, so what I'll probably do is attach a couple of flying leads to this so we can use a function generator just to do some testing. There doesn't seem to be a proper mount for the Tesla coil itself, so I'll probably just use some hot melt glue to hold that in place. Single wire comes from this Tesla coil and connects to the board, and then there's the driver coil. That's just a few turns that wrap around the base of the Tesla coil. So I'll get this put onto the board and then we'll see if it works. Okay, I have it fully assembled. I've got it hooked up to the bench supply, which is set to 15 volts, which is the only number I can see indicated in the instructions. And looking at the schematic, it appears that the analog input is only ever going to just modulate the frequency at which the unit oscillates. It's really going to change the feed current going into the oscillator circuit. So I've got it hooked up, but I somehow doubt it's going to do anything. I think it may allow you to make kind of plasma music, but this is not, I don't think, going to actually do that the way I've got it set up. I will try feeding a signal into it, but well, I think it's just going to give us a fairly constant high voltage at the output of the lead. That's this end of this coil. They do supply a small neon bulb, so in theory if it's generating high voltage it should be able to light this up, and hopefully it's not going to interfere too much with the camera or the microphone, but be warned, it might make a lot of noise in the video, and I'm not going to know that until I get round to editing the video, because I can't hear what the camera's hearing. Okay, so we'll try and power this up drawing 150 milliamps, so it seems to be doing something. We'll get our neon bulb, and it does actually light up. I'll try turning the signal generator on with the neon bulb connected, and it's set to give us a 1 kilohertz sine wave. I'll try changing the frequency, see if that does anything. Okay, I've got it down now to 30 Hertz. Now you probably can't see it on the camera, but the neon does appear to be flickering at about 30 Hertz. So I'm assuming if we had this giving a discharge, we'd be able to hear it. Okay, so hours of fun for anyone that wants to play about with a neon bulb, but I'd say not a particularly exciting kit. It is interesting and would make quite a nice first kit. It's £5, so £5 to play with this for a little while maybe is a bit of fun. Now I've seen these before, and someone made a comment that they are dangerous, and a Tesla coil like this could kill you, and so it was a real hazard. And yeah, my response to that is no, this Tesla coil's not a hazard. This Tesla coil is a hazard. So what I'm going to do now is try and hook this up. The reason I have this is I was working on a repair a few weeks ago, and I had to rewind a very large inductor, and while I had the CNC winding machine out, I thought I'd wind one of these because I already had the kit, and thought it might be interesting to see if it was capable of driving a larger coil. I would say at this point this is where it could start getting dangerous, so don't do this unless you know what you're doing. This will, if it drives it, potentially put out a very high voltage. There won't be a lot of energy in it, but it will be a high voltage that could be quite sufficient to potentially do some harm. But I'll put this together and see what it does. Okay, so here we have our Tesla Mark II coil alongside the original. I don't really expect this to work very well. The circuit probably won't oscillate at the right speed. I have taken one of the windings off just to give it a bit more a chance to get some energy into the coil. It could destroy the drive electronics, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. So we'll power it up. It's drawing nearly twice the current, so it's doing something, and we will try our trusty neon and see if we get anything. And we are indeed getting something, and it looks like we're getting a lot more power and energy than we were previously. No particularly high voltage. I didn't really think there would be. We haven't got enough drive, but obviously this gives us a good idea for a future project, which is to build a drive circuit capable of driving this Tesla coil and giving us some very significant discharge capabilities. Incidentally, one thing that's interesting with this, you can see as I move the neon up and down that it's getting dimmer and brighter, dimmer, brighter, and that gives us a clue as to why we're not getting a particularly high voltage from this. But we'll come back to that in a future video. As ever, this is just intended as a bit of fun. If you do start building high voltage Tesla coils, then please be careful. But I hope you found that interesting. I'm not sure it was worth £5, but we'll see where it takes us, and maybe just the idea and the start of this might prove worth the money.